This is day 4 of our Mount Augustus Ride. It's just been spectacular. All the way from Perth to Mount Augustus and back down the highway through Meekatharra, Sandstone, Paynes Fine. But today we start with the sunrise at Mount Augustus. Just spectacular, spectacularly beautiful. It wasn't long and the sun was peeking its head through the trees. I shot the drone up and we had a look around, and as you can see, it is absolutely stunning. I've seen Ayers Rock and it's awesome. I've seen Mount Augustus and it lived up to every expectation that I had. I really had a fabulous time going up the mountain, looking at the mountain, sunset, sunrise, and during the day. When you take the time to look at the light in this place, you'll see just how beautiful it is. The light reflects off the earth, the vegetation, and the atmosphere. The colours are astonishing. The videos don't really do it justice, but you get the picture. It is a wonderful experience, and I wouldn't miss sunset if you paid me. Well, it depends how much you paid me, actually. Sunrise is beautiful. The caravan park's pretty good. The boys had a good time. The tucker was good. The campgrounds were good. There's my tractor. Out the back there is Dave, and behind Dave's bike is Chris. There's Dave. That's sidecar Chris is out the back there. This is Peter's KTM adventure. There's crane operator Chris, or Chris number 2, out there on his DR. And then we've got JP over here ready to roll. So we get moving, and that's me. And we get moving, we're back out onto the main road and headed off to Meekatharra. We'll probably drive for about an hour. The roads are pretty good. Gravel, have been graded. And this will show you what the road looks like. Good quality road. And here's a place called Barangara, I think, and I apologise if I've got that incorrect. The sign is about to tell us. You get the picture. It's a settlement. There's a nursing post, police station, and community out here. The bitumen road is only around the intersections. Everything else is just dirt. There's houses, and we head further down the road to another station. Around the corner here, you'll see some signs saying livestock, and hey presto, there's a cattle or a cow. It's not a cow, but you get the picture. A little further around the corner, something interesting pops up. There's a sign showing flying saucers, spacecrafts. I'm not sure where they get the information on that. Anyway, there's a sign there that tells you all about it. Keep your head down, I think it says. Anyway, here's another homestead. They ask you to go slow past here so you don't get too much dust for them. It gives you all the directions that and distances to different places that you're going to, or likely to go to, from around here. Anyway, on the road, we get moving, and I've cut out hours of road here because, again, you don't really want to see all of that. Anyway, this sign's an interesting sign. It says no stopping and no passing, or no passing, no overtaking. So I don't know why the bloke in front of us all stopped, but none of us passed them and none of us overtook them. Anyway, we waited, we had our pit stop, bit of a chat, back on the bikes, over the grids, and here's another sign. Another sign really to tell you you're in the middle of nowhere again. Lots of distance between here and everywhere. Really enjoy this. Another floodway or two. Importantly, here's a sign showing the municipal boundary of the Shire of Meekatharra. Every local authority has one at their boundary, in Western Australia anyway. They all come up with a different term or a different name for their local authority, but you get the picture. And here we are again, another homestead. This time it's got its own little sign in the shape of a rainwater tank, supplied by the people that make the rainwater tanks. And ironically, there's a waterhole here, a waterhole and a floodway. I talked about that in earlier videos, where the animals have come to drink. So you've got to be careful around these things. Anyway, they're back on the road. This road's a bit mashed up. Probably only ever been laid once. We get to Mount Gould Lockup. By crikey, I wouldn't want to be locked up here. We rode our bikes, lots of photographs of bikes. It is a motorbike video after all. But this is the lockup and the police station. Can you imagine being posted here or being put in jail here? It would stink if you were in jail. The flies would drive you nuts. And it's a heck of a way to get a promotion if you're a copper. Anyway, the Heritage Council, the Development Commission and the local authority have been working to repair them and keep them as a spot that you'd stop on a tourist route, and done a good job. Considering there's wood here, normally termites eat those sorts of things. Here's the boys, just making sure everyone's good, checking bikes, and on the road again. Not much to say about a big road like this, but when you notice some black spots on the road, you've got to look out for the cows or the cattle. And they're not far from the road, so if you frighten them and they run across the road and you hit them at speed, it's not much fun. That was a wedge-tailed eagle. Pretty cool bird, actually. They're the apex predator, the raptor, the apex predator of raptors in Western Australia, and for the most part of Australia, I believe. We ride into Meekatharra. Meekatharra is a settlement, got a lot of people there, all the infrastructure. But we skirted Meekatharra because we were heading to Sandstone, and when you see how many trucks are on the road, it's really no place for a motorbike or a group of motorbikes. And this is just one of them. 3 trailers, transport, going to the Pilbara, going to the Kimberley. You don't want to get run over by one of them if you're on a motorbike. Anyway, Pete's in front. He knows his way around. And we're off to the servo to get some tucker. Fill up. Get a bit more video. Take a few photographs. Tell a few stories. Of course, I've got to get my choc milk. That's the one good thing about choc milk. They're available just about everywhere. Pretty fancy place, this one. Had fresh fruit and vegetables here. Cost an arm and a leg, but that's okay. If you can afford it. Red dust everywhere. There's just dust everywhere. You'll see why soon. There's lots of trucks that roll around the place and make a lot of dust. So we get off our bikes, fill up, and keep going. Everyone's arrived, which is good. Safe in one piece. Hey presto, choc milk, you ripper. Here I am, happy again. Bit dusty today. The front tyre's getting a bit worn out, and I've still got probably 900 kilometres to go. Back tyre's fine, but that's a bit concerning, quite frankly. And JP brought one of his mates out to meet us. Billy, I think it's called. Billy Goat. Anyway, we're not hanging around to talk to him. My family would have eaten him back in Greece. There's a few of these trucks that are rolling on, so we've got to pick our gaps, and we're off. We go through the back streets of Meekatharra. It's a bit of a windy road, actually, that we have to take to get to the track that takes us out to Sandstone. You can just take a bit of footage here to show you the sort of houses that are around the streets. A lot of the streets don't have curbs on them. When it rains, generally speaking, gutters and curbing don't really do anything because it's normally a big downpour in a very short space of time. Otherwise it's dry. You don't need a curb when it's dry. Anyway, through the back streets of the town and out the other side. I'm not sure if this is the most direct route, but I'm not leading, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just following. We get to this intersection. We make sure the car's turning the other way. It is, and we're off. Around a couple more corners. We come past a kid on a motorbike here, and I'm sure he's not probably 15 years old, but good luck to him if he can get away with it. Containers for change being run here in Meekatharra. It's good to see. Normally a lot of litter from containers that are just chucked out the window. At least someone will collect them. It's good, nice wide roads, generally speaking. Here's that kid I was talking about. I really don't think he's 17 years old. And we're off. And this is the road to Sandstone. That's what the sign says anyway. Now again, we could go for a few hours. We chop it up, keep it short, and get you to the next exciting part of this trip, which is the roadworks, if you can believe that. You'll notice that these roads, as they come to a stop, is where a lot of corrugations come about. But this is an interesting exercise, this one. We're riding through roadworks at the speed limit of 40 kilometres an hour, thankfully, because you'll see the roller truck has just decided to turn. And that was right in front of the two boys in front of me. And thankfully Peter had already stopped, thinking that he was going to turn, but I'm fairly certain the truck driver didn't see us. Didn't really care anyway, it's not going to hurt him. This is Sandstone Shire, another one of those signs, blessed with a shotgun. And some more cattle on the road up here somewhere. But again, you look out for those spots on the road, and it's a bit of a giveaway. They had about 60 millimetres of rain out here in one day, which is about 2.5 inches in the old language, or the language they use in America and the UK. That's a lot. So it scarred up the road a fair bit. And what it did was quite a lot of washouts. You'll see the witch's hat here. The council hasn't managed to get to do that work to repair that yet, but the road's still buggered. So you've got to ride over it. And they've got a flag that it's a bit dangerous. Literally only just happened. Anyway, here's a few more of that herd of cattle I was talking about. And they're big. Even the little ones are big. And then the people from the council have put the witches' hats in the road. And I don't know whether it's meant to be one of those road tests where you're supposed to weave through these things, or whether we just keep going. Anyway, managed to get down to a sensible speed. Made our way through this washout. And thankfully the cows decided not to cross the road. Luckily, they weren't chickens. Anyway, here we go again. You'll notice the different colours of the road too. It all depends on where they get their material from to surface it. They grade it, and then they need to smooth it out and compact it. But we're off, and we're on our way to Sandstone. And this is what I was talking about. This is white, obviously, but it's on top of the red. Don't know why. Probably harder, I suppose, or compact's better. As you'll see, there's a bit of cloud coming over, which is going to make for a good sunset. Also means it's getting a bit damp, maybe a bit cold. These signs show that the road is open ahead of us, which is important. It means we can still ride. If they were damaged or if they were wet, they wouldn't be. Now we're in Sandstone and we're getting ourselves fueled up. It's a bit of an IQ test, this one. Some of us passed, some of us needed a bit of help. That's why we ride in a group. Anyway, we get to our camping spot, which is secret. We can't tell you where it is. We ride around the back, try not to drown, going through the puddles, and we set up camp. What we mean by that is we park the bikes, we get the firewood ready, we start the fire, we go and set up our camp, our tent, we get our food out, we make our way to the campfire. I put the drone up and take some shots, and then we get around the fire and figure out what's happened, what's going to happen, and how much fun we're having. It was a good day. And this is Dave. It's a pretty special day, and the sun's just about to go down, so that time of the day is really good. But what is really good here is there's lots of firewood on the ground, so we just pick it up, drag it over to the fire, and it is our last night. So given that it's our last night, we have a big fire. Here we go, having a look around here. As you can see, nice and flat. What else is important is to make sure that there's no bull ants around. Don't set up in a bull ant camp. This is the bike. Here's some clouds. This is me, happy as Larry. Still me. A bit of water on the tracks here. And here's a grid from the sky, a new one. Well installed. Looks good. Colours are wonderful. Colours are spectacular on sunset. So the tents are up. Chris has got his food chest. He's unpacking it for us all. Got us some special treats that we didn't know about. Gave us some yogurt. And that was a really, really good yogurt, actually. This is my dinner. I don't need to carry it all home with me. So I'm going to eat it all tonight. And just a wonderful memory of the campsite with the fire in the background and the fire on the ground. And Dave's pretty quick with his tent, so he's all ready and ready to go. And this is a light out the back, which was mistaken by somebody for being a person. It had the shape of a helmet, and the helmet was my helmet on my motorbike handlebar. Here's the fire, and we've just had a fabulous day.